Macca's Reviews.
And I knew right away that you would want me.
Hey guys, Mac here. Welcome to my review of Contrast. Before we get into the review, I just want to tell you that I have tried to limit the amount of spoilers shown in the background, and most of this gameplay is from the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game experience. So Contrast comes out on November 15th on the PC and Xbox Live Arcade. It's also coming out on PS3's PSN on November 19th and is a launch title on the PS4. Contrast is a puzzle platformer game where you play Dawn, who is able to move in the 3D and 2D world of shadows and can cast her silhouette and jump in between shadows like a 2D platformer while still maintaining that 3D world. So I'm just going to jump into the review and talk about what I liked, disliked, and my overall recommendations for this game. Now, I thought the idea and uniqueness were truly something that really put me into the experience. As someone who plays a lot of video games, it's hard to come by something that really strikes you as something different and completely unique, but this game did that for me, and I really like that. I really like playing new games that kind of stray from that path where every video game kind of likes to go. The idea where you're able to use shadows and interact with objects in the world through shadow form in 2D or 3D, I really like that aspect, and I thought the uniqueness of this game is it's one of the more unique games I've definitely played this year, and for that alone it's probably worth trying. But moving on from that, it also does a really good job at storytelling. The cinematics are there. It is quite linear, which, you know, some people look at as a bad thing, but it is a story-driven game, and sometimes when you're looking to enjoy yourself and get into a game that is story-driven, linear can be good. Now, the soundtrack in this game is probably one of the better soundtracks I've heard in a long time. You know, the music plays a big role in this game. The music's kind of a throwback to the 50s, I guess, and I really thought the soundtrack was great as well. Now, there are a few things, unfortunately, that this game doesn't do perfectly, and I want to go through those and kind of list those, and you guys can decide whether or not those are huge deals to you or not, and then I'll talk about who this game appeals to and whether or not you should try it. Now, I did have a little bit of crashing issues with the Steam version of this game. I don't know if other people are going to have that, but it is definitely fixable. Now, another thing I noticed was that when I died, I respawned kind of far from where I was, which was a little tedious running back and forth from the same area, but it happened to me. Another thing, there are a few dead ends here and there in the game, which kind of take away from the experience of really getting into the story and into the game. You kind of run down a path only to find a dead end, and you're like, what is this here for? Like, you know, there's no really use of the dead ends that that you go down sometimes. Again, I thought the game was a little bit easy, and it kind of holds your hand through a lot of the puzzles. There are a lot of cool mechanics, like having to dash through small shadows and stuff like that. I like the mechanics, but I still did feel like I was kind of, they held my hand through a lot of the game, and for that reason, it was a little easy. The game is quite short, and there are some character control and camera problems where the camera kind of shifts, or your character gets like stuck in like this weird position, just kind of floating in space when you go in and out of the shadow world and the 3D world. Now, based on all these things I said, you can kind of form your own opinion, but as for my recommendations, my personal recommendations, what do I say you do? I would personally, as always with every game that has an available trial, I would download that trial and see if I like the game for myself. Now, if there's not an available trial on your system, what I would do is think about how much I game and whether or not I need something unique and refreshing in this market where there's a ton of games coming out. I thought this game was unique. I thought it did a really good job at storytelling, but it was a little linear. I really, really enjoyed it personally, although it does have its flaws. I think it's worth trying for everyone out there. It does a lot of unique things. It pushes boundaries you've never seen before. And for that reason alone, I think it's worth checking out, although your budget might disagree. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, I hope you did enjoy the review. This one was a little iffy because I don't want to necessarily recommend something that, some people may not find as enjoyable because of certain glitches or aspects of the game. So I really do want you to pay attention to the words of the review more so than just the overall recommendation. Look out for some of the gameplay on screen and kind of do your research and see if this game's right for you. I personally enjoyed it again, as I said before. just based on its uniqueness, the way it does the storytelling, and the way you have to alter light to make your path through the game. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Those are the 3 things that help my channel grow and let me maintain making content for you, if that sentence even made sense. As always, guys, I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Peace.